Alrighty, so let's continue on with exercise 903, and we're going to have a little look at question 4. So we want to use the points C and D to find the slope of the line. So now for this one, we don't have the grid line behind us, but we're still going to use the formula M equals rise over run. Okay, so for this first one, we want to find out what is going on with C and D. Now, the first thing that we should notice about C and D is that it has a negative gradient, because when going from left to right, it is in a downwards motion. So our answer is going to be negative. So then what we want to do is we want to work out how far this falls until C, the point where C starts, falls until we get to D. So it falls down to here, and if we were to draw our right angle triangle, that will help us out. So it falls 1, 2, so that means our rise is and it's a negative 2 because it's falling down, and then it runs across 1, 2, 3, 4. So it runs across 4. So our gradient will be M equals our rise over run. Now, just remember that this is our rise, our vertical, and our run is our horizontal. So our M equals negative 2 over 4. So M equals negative 2 over 4 simplifies down to be negative 1/2. Now, I'll do D with you just to make sure that you know what you're doing. So C to D, it's going in a positive direction from left to right. It's going up, so it's going to be a positive gradient. So we want to make sure that our answer is positive. So we're using our formula again, M equals rise over run. And what we want to do is we want to draw that right angle triangle again, like so. We then want to calculate what our run and rise are. So I'm going to do my run first, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have a run of 6, and I have a rise of 1, 2, 3, 4. So M is going to equal my rise of 4. So remember, our rise is our vertical, our run is our horizontal. So M equals 4 over 6, which equals or simplifies down to be 2 over 3. Now, for question 5, we want to use any 2 points on this line to find its slope. So we're doing exactly the same as what we've been doing. So we want to find 2 points. So I'm going to use this point here and this point here. Now, it's really important that we want to use a point that has like a cross, so where 2 things meet. And then we also, so we don't want to do here because it's not exactly on a coordinate. So then we want to draw our right angle triangle, like so. And, oh, that's not very good. Like so. And we want to work out what our rise and run is. Another thing we should notice is that the gradient of this line is positive because it's going up when we go left to right. And so we want to work out our run, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and our rise, which is 1, 2. So our M equals rise over run. So M equals our rise is 2 over our run of 4, and that simplifies down to be 1/2. Now for question 6, it's a little bit trickier. We're still using our formula M equals rise over run. However, we don't have a grid to draw it on. So what we're going to do is our rise is our difference in our y values. So what we're going to do is we're going to use go our y2 value minus our y1 value over, and our run is our difference in our x values. So our x2 value minus our x1 value. So if we look at 6a, what we have is we have the point 1, 0, and we have the point 3, 4. So I'm going to label this first point here, x1, y1, and I'm going to label my second point x2, y2. I'm then going to substitute these values into my formula over here. So I'll have m equals my y2 value of 4 minus my y1 value of 0 over my x2 value of 3 minus my x1 value of 1. So then we have 4 minus 0 is 4, 3 minus 1 is 2, and this simplifies to be 2. So therefore our gradient, or